Welcome to the Bread Kitchen. This week I'm going to make a Scandinavian griddle bread that I used to see a lot in France. It has a lovely open structure inside and it's called pain polaire or polar bread. To 225 grams of lukewarm water add 4 teaspoons of sugar and a teaspoon of dried yeast and mix well. You could use honey instead if you like. Now leave this for 10 minutes for the yeast to get going. In this bowl I've got 400 grams of a good white bread flour and 50 grams of rye flour. Now you can adjust the relative quantities of the rye and the white flour, but the total must be 450 grams. Bear in mind that the more rye you have in the mix, the heavier your bread will be. I'll add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and mix well. Now if you want, you can add small seeds into this dough, and fennel is pretty typical. I'm not going to use that today, but that's up to you. Make a well in the centre. Add in your frothy yeast, sugar, water mix and 50 grams of crème fraiche or plain yoghurt, or I'm using sour cream. Then mix to a smooth dough. After a couple of minutes it should all come together into this soft and just very slightly tacky dough. Now knead this dough for 10 minutes until smooth and elastic. And after 10 minutes of kneading you should end up with this lovely smooth dough. Pop the dough in a lightly greased bowl, cover and leave in a warm place to allow the dough to about double in size. You can see my dough's risen really nicely, so I'll turn it out. Bloop. Knock it back, get the gas out, and then I'll divide the dough into 6 equal pieces. Now flour the surface, take a piece of dough, stretch the edges and push them into the middle. Go round once or twice. Turn over and plump it up. So there we are, I've got 6 nice balls of dough. Make sure the surface is well floured, then take a ball of dough, press it out and then roll it out to between 3 and 5 millimeters thick. That's quite nice. As you can see, it's about 3 to 5 millimeters thick. It's about the size of a side plate, and now I'm going to bodge it all over with a fork. Now turn it over and do the same on the other side. And when you've done that, pick it up and pop it on a lightly floured baking tray. The flour is just to help stop the dough sticking to the surface. Now carry on with the rest of the balls of dough. Once you've got as many on a baking tray as you think you can get, you need to cover them or pop them into a large plastic bag and then leave in a warm place for about 40 to 60 minutes. After about 40 to 60 minutes they should be twice the thickness they were. Carefully transfer to a pan over a medium heat and cook for 2 to 3 minutes per side. After about a minute you should see them start to puff up. Once one side's cooked, just flip them over and cook the other side. Once they're nicely browned on the underside, you can take them off the heat and cook the next one. So here's my stack of finished bread. They're just over 1 centimetre thick and they're lovely and soft and spongy feeling too. Okay, so I'll cut one in half so you can see the texture in the middle. See, it's quite light and airy and spongy. And you make sandwiches by carefully cutting them in half. Oh, look at that, lovely and airy and light inside. Now you spread it, put your filling in, pop, instant sandwich. You could make some really nice lettuce and tomato sandwiches with these, and also some delicious smoked salmon and cucumber, maybe with a bit of crème fraiche in there. The breads freeze really well, so you don't need to eat them all at once. I hope you enjoy making your polar bread, and do join me next time in the bread kitchen.